Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're totally tearing down the myth of the natural-born genius in elite sports. You know the feeling, right? We watch these superstars performing under the blinding stadium lights, and we just think, wow, they are literally superhuman. They were just born with it. But honestly, that's a glamorous illusion. Today, we're going to completely demystify that superhuman aura. We're going to expose the grueling, unglamorous, and frankly, obsessive realities of what it actually takes to be the absolute best in the world.
4 a.m. Just let that sink in for a second. Drop yourself into this reality. It's the freezing, exhausting aftermath of a Champions League away game. Your body is completely battered, you've just flown across Europe, you've been held up for post-match doping tests for hours. Your absolute 100% only desire is to collapse into your bed.
So, listen to this wild story from Paul Clement, who is an assistant manager at Real Madrid. He paints his vivid picture for us. The team bus arrives at the training ground in Madrid at around 3 or 4 in the morning. The players grab their bags, you hear the screech of car tires, and boom, they are out of there. And fair enough, but Clement says he turns around, and there is a young Cristiano Ronaldo literally dragging his teammates, Pepe and Fabio Coentro, toward the main building. At 4 in the morning, he's initiating a freezing ice bath. That right there, that isn't talent. That is a legendary, almost warlike level of ultra-professionalism. It's the compound effect of doing the tiny little things flawlessly, over and over, when nobody else wants to.
Section 1. Defining true mental toughness. You know, we throw around terms like grit or drive quite a bit when we talk about these crazy stories, but let's look at the academic framework here, kind of bridging the gap between raw, visceral grit and actual sports psychology. The formal definition of mental toughness isn't just gritting your teeth and pushing through. As the research shows, it is a highly specific psychological trait. It involves unshakable confidence, strict emotional and behavioral control, an unwavering commitment to your goals, and, crucially, persistence under intense stress. And the science of sports psychology tells us that this is absolutely not a simple genetic gift you either have or you don't. It's an intricate, highly trainable capacity. You can actually build the architecture of your mind to endure adversity and interpret challenges as opportunities for growth.
And we can actually measure and train that architecture using Peter Clough's 4 C's model of mental toughness, which is a massive staple in psychological research. Think of this as a concrete checklist for elite mental resilience. First up, confidence. That's your self-belief in your own abilities. Second, challenge. Seeing obstacles not as threats, but as a chance to push yourself further. Third, control. Maintaining emotional stability and a sense of total agency over your environment. And finally, commitment. Sticking to your goals no matter what life throws at you. The athletes who succeed at the absolute highest levels, they score exceptionally high across all 4 of these pillars.
Section 2. The Neville Preparation Cycle.
Now, let's pivot a bit from the psychology of mental toughness to how it actually manifests in tactical obsession. We're going to look at Manchester United legend Gary Neville. Because honestly, mental toughness is just as much about extreme, almost exhausting cognitive preparation as it is about physical endurance. This right here is a fascinating academic case study on Gary Neville's decision-making, his 8-stage preparation cycle. Just look at the overwhelming diligence required for this. Neville wasn't the fastest or naturally most gifted player on the pitch, and he knew it. So he compensated by achieving absolute mental comfort before match day. Every single node on this cycle, from rest to cognitive engagement to imagery visualization, was executed meticulously to ensure he was never, ever surprised during a game.
Let's break down Neville's most critical steps here. Number 1, cognitive engagement. Neville said his game mode started on Tuesday morning for a Wednesday night match. Every waking moment was spent exhaustively researching his opponents. Number 2, training specifics. Now this is where it gets crazy. He would physically simulate his opponent's trademark moves. He literally asked his teammates, "Hey, is the winger quick and jinky? Okay, run at me quick and jinky. Is he physical? Let's practice heading." He demanded repetition until countering that specific opponent was completely second nature. And number 3, imagery visualization. By the time he actually stepped onto the pitch, he had already played the game 100 times in his head, entirely eliminating panic and emotion from his decision-making.
But hey, what if you do have all the natural talent in the world? Does that mean you get to skip the tactical discipline? Absolutely not. Take this visceral story from Rio Ferdinand about a young Cristiano Ronaldo. During a Champions League match against Benfica, Ronaldo was desperate to show off his skills and kind of let the occasion get to him. The team lost. Afterwards, in the locker room, legendary manager Sir Alex Ferguson gave him the infamous hairdryer treatment. He completely destroyed him, yelling, "Playing by yourself? Who the hell do you think you are?" It just proves that even a fiercely independent generational talent like Ronaldo had to be brutally broken down by a demanding coach to learn that individual ego must always submit to tactical discipline.
Section 3. The $1 Million Recovery.
All right, let's shift gears from cognitive obsession back to extreme physical maintenance, because knowing what to do is only half the battle, right? Ensuring your body can actually execute it for 2 decades is another beast entirely. Let's look at the staggering lengths taken to preserve an aging athletic machine. $1 million. Seriously, let the sheer weight of that massive number sink in. This is the reported annual cost of Cristiano Ronaldo's fanatical recovery regimen. At 40 years old, when almost every other footballer on earth has retired or drastically slowed down, Ronaldo is still competing at an elite level. His body is no longer just a physique, it is a high-performance machine that requires constant, incredibly expensive, and completely obsessive upkeep.
So the crucial point is how exactly he spends that time and money, especially when it comes to recovery methods like that 4 a.m. ice bath we talked about earlier. There's a really strong contrast here between myth and reality. Ronaldo himself actually had to address this in a recent clip, fully debunking the common myth that freezing showers or ice baths will give you a fever or make you sick. The reality, completely backed by sports medicine, is the exact opposite. Consistent cryotherapy and cold plunges reduce inflammation, improve circulation, speed up muscle recovery, and actually build immunity. For a guy like him, recovery is absolutely not an optional luxury, it is a mandatory part of his job description.
Let's punch through this brutal anti-aging arsenal. We're talking segmented sleep cycles designed specifically for optimal muscle repair. 0 alcohol, no fried foods, no sugary drinks. He drinks several liters of water a single day. And he undergoes continuous biomarker testing to track exactly what his body needs down to a cellular level. This brilliantly illustrates that true greatness isn't a cute 2-hour-a-day practice schedule. It is a relentless, 24/7 lifestyle.
Section 4. The compound effect.
So we've looked at Gary Neville's exhaustive mental preparation and Cristiano Ronaldo's fanatical physical maintenance. When we bring Neville's mind and Ronaldo's body together, it builds our core thesis. The illusion of natural talent is largely a lie told by spectators who only ever see the final product. Greatness is simply the compound effect of executing unglamorous, painful, boring repetition flawlessly over years and decades. It's the 4 a.m. ice baths. It's the Tuesday morning film study for a Saturday game. It's eating perfectly every single day.
And how do you even sustain that level of sacrifice? Well, you have to completely master your own psychology. Ronaldo once famously said, "Your love makes me strong, your hate makes me unstoppable." This right here is the ultimate mental alchemy used by elites. They take genuine support to build their stable base of resilience, sure, but they actively weaponize the external negativity, the critics, the doubters, the grueling schedules, and they convert it into hyperdrive fuel. Literally nothing external breaks them, it only makes them sharper.
So I'll leave you with this. We've clearly seen that the magic isn't in the DNA, it's in the discipline. If greatness is truly built in the shadows of 4 a.m. ice baths, in the quiet discipline of segmented sleep, and the obsessive, meticulous preparation of studying your opponent, what are you doing in the dark, when no one is watching, when there are no crowds cheering? What compounding habits are you building to ensure your own success? Thank you so much for joining us for this explainer. Keep pushing, and we'll see you next time.